الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Our Lord states in the Holy Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين وآتى المال على حبه ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين. There are two types of observants and faithfuls within the Islamic faith and religion. One of them focuses on the ceremonies, the rites, the rituals. The other one, his focus is the spirit, is not the shell, but the core, is the essence of the message, the spirit of the message. Because any religion, any ideology has two parts. One is the external or the exterior, and that's the ritualistic side, the ceremonies, the rites, which is important, and it is mentioned in the Quran. ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. Sha'air are the ceremonies, the rituals, the rites. But then religion, the essence of religion is the spirit of religion. The spirit, the teachings of religion. This is more important. That is the interior. The first one is the exterior. The ceremonies, the rituals are exterior. The spirit of religion, the teaching of religion, the essence of religion are the interior. When it comes to the ceremonies, some people, they might pray 5 times a day. They don't miss their prayers. But when it comes to the poor, the needy, the homeless, the unhoused, as we say today, they forget about them. They don't care about them. They pass by them on the way from the mosque to the house. They might pass by some hungry people, homeless people, poor people, needy people, and they don't do anything. They just pass and they go to catch the prayers, Salatul Jama'ah, congregational prayers. They might fast the entire month of Ramadan, but they don't care about corruption in their societies. They don't care about equality, about social justice. They don't care. For them, the exterior is more important than the interior. Hence, when we come to Muharram and Ashura and the message of Imam Hussain, for some people, the focus are the ceremonies. Only the ceremonies. Only the ceremonies. This is why I emphasize, so you don't get me wrong. They wait for Muharram to come, for Ashura to come, just to commemorate a ceremonial commemoration. What we call it aza, lamentation, mourning. But when it comes to the message of Imam Hussain, they don't want to listen to it. But there are others, they wait for Muharram to come because they know this is the season of justice, social justice. This is the season of spiritual and moral revival, resurrection, refreshing their souls, refreshing their minds, reminding themselves of their moral, religious duties in their societies. It's a season of justice, equality, love, care, compassion, spending, contribution, giving, sacrificing. This is why for them it's important. And this is the spirit of Muharram. Let me show you something in the Quran. This is the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 177, the verse that I started the speech with. It gives us a parable, an example of how the Muslims and the non-Muslims were quarreling with each other. Over what? Over the direction of the prayers. When God asked the Prophet to change his direction of the prayers from being to the north in Jerusalem to 180 degrees to Mecca in the south, there was an uproar, a commotion in Medina between the Muslims and non-Muslims, because the Prophet and his community have been praying towards Jerusalem for almost 17 months. The Qibla, the direction of the prayers for almost 17 months was Jerusalem. Then it shifted to Mecca. So some of the people of the book, they were upset. They said, why? Why the messenger of the Muslims, Muhammad, he's changing the direction from the north to the south? Why from Jerusalem to Mecca? What does Mecca offer for them? Is Mecca better than Jerusalem? So they started quarreling. And there was a commotion in Medina. It was the talk of the town. Each side wanted to prove that he's right. Quran came with this beautiful verse to explain the reason. Quran came to say, listen, it's not important whether you face the north or the south, the east or the west, Jerusalem or Mecca. It doesn't matter. What matters is the spirit of religion, the spirit of submission to God, the spirit of subordinating yourself before God, being obedient to God. This is important. What is important is reaching out to people, helping the poor, the needy. It's not important whether you face this direction or that direction, because God is found in every direction. God does not have a specific location. God does not have a specific direction. أينما تولوا فثم وجه الله. Wherever you face, God is there. The spirit of religion is to be more thoughtful, more giving, more considerate, having a better conscience, reaching out to people, helping your family members, helping the poor, helping the needy, helping the orphans, helping those who are left out, giving with a spirit of generosity, with a spirit of love, not being forced to give, but when you give out of love, out of conviction, out of understanding, knowing that when you give, you will get more from God. So God says, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. Virtue and merit is not whether you face the east or the west. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرِّ, the real merit, the real righteousness and dutifulness is مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ. This is the spirit of religion. You submit yourself to God. مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, the last day, وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ, the angels, وَالْكِتَابِ, the book, وَالنَّبِيِّينَ, the prophets, وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ ذَوِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ, giving his money to those who are next of kin, to his family, to the orphan, to the destitute, to the wayfarer, to the beggars, to the captives, prisoners of war, وَفِي الرِّقَابِ وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةِ. The spirit of religion is when you establish the prayers, the communication with God. وَآتَ الزَّكَاةِ, when you give alms. وَالْمُوفُونَ بِعَهْدِهِمْ إِذَا عَاهَدُوا, when you stay true to your promise, when you make a promise. This is religion. This is the spirit of religion. You fulfill your covenant. You fulfill your promise. You don't promise people and then you change your mind and you let them down and you disappoint them. You don't do that. This is the message of Imam Hussain. You know, my friends, Imam Hussain, when he met Al-Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi, when he arrived into the Iraqi territories, Al-Hur, a decorated military commander of Bani Umayyah, with 1,000 soldiers, they intercepted the caravan of Imam Hussain. He stood before him. He said to him, Ya Aba Abdullah, I have orders from Ibn Ziyad, Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, the governor of Kufa, that I would not allow you to go to Kufa. I have an order to arrest you and take you back to him to Kufa. Imam Hussain said, you cannot do that. You can't. Even though you have 1,000 soldiers with you and we are only 70 people, you cannot do that. I would not let you. And he knows Imam Hussain he knows him very well. He knows Imam Hussain is very courageous. He cannot subdue Imam Hussain and take him as a prisoner or captive. He wouldn't. He would not be able to do that. So they had long negotiations. Then they reached this settlement that Imam Hussain neither goes back to Medina nor continues to head to Kufa. He will take another route somewhere else. But not these two cities. Neither Medina, nor return to Medina, nor going to Kufa. He has to take another route. And Hur would not arrest him. He would leave him alone. So Imam Hussain accepted the terms. He asked someone in the caravan, من منكم يعرف الطريق على غير الجادة? Who knows another way, a side way, other than this highway that leads to Kufa? At-Tarimah ibn Uday said, I know this territory, this desert. I am a cameleer here in this area. So he took them to the land of Karbala. Of course, my friends, these are the plans of God. God's planning are in progress, at work. It was the plan of God that Imam Hussain goes to Karbala. This was his destiny. God wanted him to go there. But God sometimes brings some people to execute the plan. So once he headed to Karbala, someone came to Imam Hussain and said to him, Ya Aba Abdullah, in this area there are tribes who are ready to defend you, stand with you. So scrap this deal that we did with Hur, throw it away, and we go to those people. They will help us. We will continue our journey to go to Kufa. Imam Hussain said, no, I made a deal. I gave him my word. وَالْمُوفُونَ بِعَهْدِهِمْ إِذَا عَاهَدُوا. Those who fulfill their ahd, their covenant. I made a promise to him. I cannot scrap it. I cannot just run away because there are some people who are helping me. I can't. I gave him my word and I'm not going to change that. This is the message of Imam Hussain. This is the message of the Quran. This is the message of Islam. Now, during Muharram and Ashura, are we fulfilling our covenant? Do we remain true to our promises? This is the spirit of Ashura. This is what we should celebrate. These principles of Imam Hussain. وَالْمُوفُونَ بِعَهْدِهِمْ إِذَا عَاهَدُوا وَالصَّابِرِينَ فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. Those who persevere in difficulties, during calamities, during hunger, during starvation, during war, during pandemic, during any sort of calamity, they persevere. They don't lose their grounds. وَحِينَ الْبَأْسِ, during the war, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا. Those people are people who remained true. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُتَّقُونَ. And exactly those people are the pious. Those people are the pious. This is the spirit of religion. Keep the spirit of religion. Ceremonies are important, but not as important as the message itself. As I said, the prayers, ceremonial, has a ceremonial side, physical side, mechanical side. The bowing, the prostration, the standing, the qunut, the conclusion, the taslim, these are mechanical, physical. But what is the spirit of the salat, the prayers? Is khushu'. Khushu'. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. When you humble yourself before God, when you submit before God, when you put your forehead on the floor, on the ground, and you say, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la wa bihamdih. I glorify my Lord, the highest. I connect with Him. I submit to Him. He is my Lord. He's my helper. He's the closest one to me. He's the one I seek help and sustenance and guidance from Him. When you submit yourself to the Lord, this is the spirit of the prayers. أقرب ما يكون العبد إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى عندما يكون ساجدا. The nearest of a servant, the nearest time he gets so close to God is when he is prostrating, putting his forehead on the dust, on the ground, submitting to God. This is the spirit of the prayers. Otherwise, these movements, standing, bowing, prostrating, if we don't respect the spirit and adhere to the spirit, they are useless. They are just mechanical. They don't have any fruits. They don't have any results. Sometimes I look at mosques, brilliant mosques, spacious, magnificent, big, huge. The architect is amazing architect. Millions of dollars being spent to build these mosques. But then, outside these mosques, sometimes cathedrals, not just mosques. Once you leave, you find a ghetto. You find an area that is totally run down. You find slums. Next to the mosque, you find people living in these slums without food, without a proper sanitation, without running water. A mosque being built for millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars, excuse me, and then next to it are a human being who are suffering. While we read in the hadith, Al-Mu'min a'azzu ala Allah min al-Ka'bah. A single individual, a single faithful observant of faith, follower of faith, is more valuable and more important to God than the house of God. If we are to build, it's good to build a mosque. It's good, very good to build a very magnificent mosque. But next to it, you have to build a magnificent life for the human being, for the people. This is the spirit of religion. The first one is ceremonial. The first thing is ritualistic. The second one, when you build the people and their spirit, and you respect their dignity, you give them dignity, you protect them, you protect their dignity and their value. This is the spirit of religion. Loving religion has two types. Maybe all people love religion, all of them. But there are two types of love, my friends. Same thing when it comes to Imam Hussain. Many followers adore Imam Hussain and they love him. Entire Muslim community loves Imam Hussain. Non-Muslims love Imam Hussain and adore him, let alone the Muslims. But we have two types of love. One is merely emotional. And when it is emotional, it fluctuates with our emotions. One day the emotions are high, the love is high. The other day the emotions are down, the love is down. But the second type, which is permanent and essential, and that is the intellectual love. We must connect with God, with the Prophet, with the religion, with the Quran, with Imam Hussain through the second type of love. And that is the intellectual love, philosophical love. The mental love, the love that comes with it awareness and understanding. A type of love that you know why you are loving out of understanding, not just out of emotions and sentiments. This is the type of love we need today. So when it comes to Muharram and Ashura, there are two sides. The sheer ceremonial, which does not have any essence. The other one, which is ceremonial with an essence, with a message, with an objective. And the objective is to understand why Imam Hussain gave his life. Why I'm crying for him after 1400 years. Why I'm sitting here and listening to these lectures. Why I am mourning Imam Hussain. This is important. Does he only need from me just tears and weeping, or there is something else? Definitely he needs something else. When we love conscientiously, with understanding and with appreciation, that love is going to remain forever. That love is not going to change. My friends, in conclusion, let me say this. Sometimes I see Muslims who come from different backgrounds. They come from the Middle East. Some of them, they come to Europe, to North America, to South America, and they keep their faith strong. Others, as soon as they touch down in a European city, in an American city, they lose their faith. Both of them say we are Muslims. Both of them say we are the followers of Islam, the followers of the Prophet. So why one of them gets hold of his faith forever and he passes it down to his children and his family members and his friends, while the other, as soon as he touches down, he loses his faith? Why? This is the answer. The answer is the first one who gets hold of his faith strongly, with dignity, with a pride, he loves out of mental love. His love is mental. His love is intellectual. Whereas the first one who abandons faith immediately, his love, even if he attended majalis, ceremonies, were only emotional. It was not intellectual. This is why it fades away. It goes away immediately, does not stay. God says in His book, in the Holy Quran, فَأَمَّا الزَّبَدُ فَيَذْهَبُ جُفَاءً. The scum. Have you seen sometimes when you fly over an ocean, what do you see? You see the water, the scum over the water. This one goes away, fades away immediately. The foams, these foams, they fade away. This is called zabad. فَأَمَّا الزَّبَدُ فَيَذْهَبُ جُفَاءً وَأَمَّا مَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسِ. As to what is going to benefit the people, the essence, فَيَمْكُثُ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَذَلِكَ يَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالِ. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا، ورحمة الله وبركاته، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.